Have you ever wondered if you're actually leading in HR or just surviving? You keep things moving, you're solving problems all day, you care about people, but deep down inside, you're not sure if that's what makes a great leader or if you're just a person holding everything together. Honestly, no one ever tells us what a great HR leader looks like. You're just expected to figure it out on your own. I'm Bryttani Graddick, and I've been in HR for well over a decade. Along the way, I've learned the truth. The best HR leaders are not the ones with the biggest job titles. They're the ones who can develop certain traits that most people never talk about. If you've not subscribed to the channel just yet, I invite you to hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications to not miss any videos that I drop about ways to elevate your HR career on purpose and with purpose. Before we jump in, tell me this. What's the one thing you wish you were more confident doing as an HR professional right now? If you're new to HR or you've been in it for a while but you still feel overlooked, understanding these traits will literally change the way you show up at work. Because great HR leadership is not about being perfect, it's about being the kind of person that people trust. Great leaders lead themselves first. Most new HR professionals think that leadership starts with helping others, but it doesn't. It starts with how you control your emotions, your boundaries, your decisions, and your presence. When you first started in HR, you were probably trying to help everybody, get to know everybody, figure out how to lead this thing, how to lead this project, learn this skill, develop this talent. But if you don't have the discipline, if you have not developed the courage, if you've not developed the confidence to get things done, it doesn't matter how much you know. It does not matter how much you have good relationships in the workplace, how much you've been able to, network and have all these moving and shaking. If you don't have the discipline to get things done, your work will not get done. If you don't have the confidence to show up every day powerfully, you won't last. And if you're feeling that way right now, where you're wondering, okay, well, I've been doing all the things, I've been in HR for multiple years, I'm at my wits' end, I've done everything I knew how to do. What am I missing? This video is probably going to hit some things on the nail for you because it's more than just all the things that you must do. And it's more than all the things that you must accomplish, all the people you must get a chance to know and meet and serve. All of that is great. But if your foundation is not set, if you don't know who you are, you're going to face some difficult challenges. You're going to face some difficult circumstances. Think about it. In HR, we're dealing with people, we're dealing with leaders, we're dealing with people who it's their first job, they've been working for 50 years, and everything in between. So you have to know who you are going into that space. For me, my faith is a driving force for me. Everything that I do, even showing up on this channel, everything I do I'm called to serve. I'm called to serve God. I'm called to serve those around me. But I've got to know who I am. I've got to know the values that I hold dear so that when I have those difficult moments, when I have those challenges, when I'm up against, a rock and a hard place and I've got to make the tough calls, I've got to live with myself. I've got to make sure I'm leading with empathy. I got to make sure I'm leading with compassion. Got to make sure I'm being tactful in the right times and using my authority and using my influence in the right ways. I don't want to abuse my power. I don't want to abuse my opportunities. I want to make the most of the things that have been given to me. I want to be a good steward of my resources, financially and otherwise. So for you, you must know those things for yourself. What drives you? What does success look like for you? But not only that, what do others around you think about you? And how will you use that knowledge to gain insights on what you need to do differently? Again, it's not just about being self-aware. That's powerful. That's great. But you've got to be self-aware and also aware of those around you as well. So this is the work that I do with my clients, helping people to understand those around them, understand themselves so well so that when you're building those relationships, you know how to do it the right way. When you're learning those new skills, you know what you need to do, what's a shiny object and what's not a shiny object. Again, this work is so foundational and it goes overlooked so many times because people want to just skip ahead. You want to get to the good stuff. You want to get to the fun stuff. And that work is powerful and necessary, but you've got to lead yourself first. Think about it this way. Your self-management is going to set the tone for every interaction that you have. As you continue on your journey of truly showing up as a great HR leader, a successful HR leader, you must remember this. Great HR leaders communicate with calm clarity. You don't need a perfect script. You need a calm presence. People trust HR leaders who communicate without panic, without rush, without defensiveness. Think about it this way. Whenever you're facing something that's challenging, do you want to be the one running around like a chicken with your hair cut off, with your hair on fire? Or would you rather be the calm in the middle of the storm? That's what HR leaders do. That's what HR leaders are. Great HR leaders are the calm in the storm because there will be storms, there will be challenges, there will be tough times. But again, going back to that very first point, you can't be the calm in the storm if you don't know yourself, if you don't have a solid foundation, who you are and the value that you bring to the workforce. Being the calm in the storm is such an underrated skill. You've got to make sure that you're able to communicate whatever you're saying powerfully. You can't do it based on emotion. You can't do it based on things that are just feelings. I hear it all the time. HR leaders are feeling like they do great work, but no one knows the value that they do. And they're doing great work, but no one sees the impact of it. Or they feel overlooked. They feel overworked. They feel like no one's paying attention to what they're doing. And they're only called on when things get bad, or they're overlooked when it comes to big decisions. But backtrack that a little bit. Ask yourself, are you showing up in the right way? Are you showing up powerfully? Do you have a solid foundation? Are you moving in a way that's resonating with them because you understand how they think about you and what they think about you as well? But when you communicate with calm clarity, that is so critical. No one is going to know the value of your work if you don't tell them about it. No one's going to know the work that you do unless you tell them about it. So you've got to understand your work first. When I first became an HR department of one, I felt I was at a disadvantage because I had at that point in my career had only done recruiting and I had only done payroll, and I had done much of anything else other than maybe events and projects and things like that. But I didn't really do much with benefits. I didn't really do much with employee relations. I didn't really do much with anything compliance based, really. And so I really felt at a disadvantage. So one of the first things that I did, I went to the SHRM website, shrem.org. And at the time, their website was broken down into competencies. And I used that to create my own little cheat sheet, so to speak. Because I knew if I'm comfortable in recruiting and I'm comfortable in payroll, I'm going to spend all my time there. And that's what I ended up doing for the first year. And I, of course, when things would pop off with benefits things or employee relations things, I would pick up those rocks at those times, but I wasn't building the skills. And so, how can I communicate my value in those areas if I'm not working in those areas? So, you got to find ways to not just do your role, but elevate your work so much that you understand it so well. The more you understand your work, the better you can communicate the value and the impact of that work. If you don't really know why your work matters, how can you expect anyone else to know why your work matters? So you got to understand it so well. You got to know the work that you're doing, know why you're doing it, know what's driving you to be successful, what's driving you to pick up certain rocks and do certain things, so that when it comes to those managers meetings, when it comes to those skip level meetings, when you're having those conversations with your senior leader and your CEO, you can communicate powerfully what you're working on. The real truth here, clarity feels like leadership, even when you're learning. If this is resonating with you, hit that like button and let me know. Quick question. Do you think that HR leaders are built or are they born? Drop that down below. Just put born in the comments or put built in the comments. I'm really curious to see what you think. Another trait that great HR leaders have is visionary leadership. Great HR leaders see the bigger picture even before they have the title. Most beginners get stuck in the day to day, but great HR leaders start asking themselves, how does this decision impact the team, or the business, or the culture? This type of thinking gets you out of that just day-to-day grind, that hustle of the work that you're doing. It makes you really take a step back and think about, again, why is this work so important? What is the value of this work? What is the impact of this work? Having this clarity is so important because without it, you're going to stay relegated to that paper pushing mentality, that task focused mentality, that administrative burden of leading your department or of working in your department. But until you're taking a step back and you're thinking about actually, okay, not only what are you doing, but what are the systems that you're working within? What are the processes around the work that you're doing? How are you measuring your success? What is the ultimate business impact of your work? Until you have walked through that, what I call the HR proficiency pyramid, until you've walked through that, not just one time, not just one competency, but for every competency that you work within HR, you should have a framework for how you're approaching it. Maybe some days or maybe some seasons, you are more data focused, or you are more process focused, or you are more task focused because it might be what the work requires, maybe due to staffing shortages or due to new projects, new systems. You're just getting things off the ground. But not every season calls for the same thing. So, this understanding for your own self of what your department requires is really, really crucial. One of the biggest mistakes I see HR professionals make is waiting for that manager title, or waiting for that business partner title, or waiting for director, waiting for C suite, waiting for VP. Those roles will never come if you're not already working within those roles, either in your current company or the next one. You've got to find yourself to be continuously, intentionally building those skills, because whether it serves you in your current company or not is not the point. The point is building the muscle so that when you interview, either in your current role or somewhere else, You have the language to explain what you're doing, why you're doing it, why it matters, and how it impacts others around you. So you're on your path to be that great HR leader. You set your foundation, you understand the work you're doing, you're communicating in the right way. Next thing you want to make sure you're doing, great HR leaders build relationships before they need them. Remember this. Influence is built long before you need to influence. New HR professionals often isolate yourselves, stand behind the desk, and you feel shocked when no one listens to you. You've heard it before. People don't care what you know until they know that you care. So you've got to build those relationships. Take interest in people, and you don't have to be an extrovert. I'm not an extrovert as well, but you got to find ways to find those common grounds between people that you're working with, whether it's your leaders, whether it's people that you're serving, whether it's in your networking, your community, whether it's online on LinkedIn. You've got to find ways to build relationships long before you need them, and don't build them only for the purpose of asking someone for something. Maybe you're building relationships in this season because you're looking to serve other people. You're learning, you're figuring out ways to find commonality, to build your professional network, to get more in tune and ingrained in your local SHRM chapter. Maybe you want to find ways to gain a new skill. And maybe you're taking a certification class and you're not just taking a class and hiding in the corner or taking a class and hiding in the Zoom room, but you're intentionally building relationships outside of that opportunity, outside that little incubator, so you can find ways to again build your community on purpose. So the point of this that I want to make sure you understand is that when you're looking for your next opportunity or you're looking to elevate your current role, there's so much more value in you being able to pull from other people's knowledge banks. You don't have to have all the answers in your head. That's one of the biggest mistakes that I made so early in my career, thinking that I had to have all the answers because I was an HR department of one and no one here is going to know the answers. I learned no, you don't have to have all the answers. You just need to know where to find those answers, where the answer is another person, whether it's Google, whether it's the SHRM website, whether it's an HRCI course. You got to find ways to build your knowledge bank, build your toolkit on purpose, and not feel like you got to have it all in your head. That is a surefire way to drive yourself mad. You've got to find ways to build your toolkit, build your skill set on purpose. You become a trusted HR leader by being visible, approachable, and consistently supportive. Again, you cannot hide behind your desk. You cannot hide behind your office door. You got to find ways to get out among the people, meet people, even if you're talking to them by phone, even if you're working remotely. Find ways to have those meetings, maybe with cross collaborative teams or having check ins with your new hires, learning about people, learning what matters to them, learning the values that they have, just finding ways to find commonalities so they don't think that HR is just this big bad person who's going to come when people are doing something wrong. If people in your company have a bad reputation for HR or a bad impression of what HR is, it's on you to change that. How will they know anything different unless you show up differently? So you can't feel like, okay, well, they have always felt this way and they're going to always feel this way. If you keep doing the same thing, yes. But I know that it can be I know that it can happen because I've seen it happen for myself. I've seen it happen for other people as well. You've got to make the effort to shift the culture, person by person and project by project. We've talked about a lot of things in this video, putting a lot of things in motion. But if you get nothing else from this video, I want you to remember this. Great HR leaders take ownership of their growth. HR is one of the only fields where you can advance fast if you take responsibility for your own learning. Take it from me. Again, when I was a department of one, at the time I was a generalist, and then I became a manager. And I could have stopped there. But then I got to senior manager. And it's okay, well, the person who was there before me was a senior manager. That was her ceiling at the time. So that's gonna be my ceiling, right? No, I kept learning, kept finding new ways to add more value, kept finding more ways to make my presence known, not in a vain way, but to the service of those around me. Because I wanted to make sure that employees had an organization they could be proud of, that leaders had teams that they felt they could support, that our senior leaders felt fine with the way the departments were progressing, and the people felt very included and felt very aligned with where the company was going. So again, after a senior manager for me, then I became an AVP unexpectedly just because of the work I was doing, and then VP, and then now C-suite. So again, don't put limits on yourself. It doesn't matter who was in the role for you, or if you are the first HR person or the 15th HR person. If your department is still one that still needs finessing, if it's not completely aligned the right way, not completely respected in the right way, it's on you to change that. Especially as an HR leader, as HR manager specifically, if you are leading your department and you're not finding ways to grow on purpose, you're missing out. You are really, really missing out. If you're not building the right relationships, if you're not building the right skills, if you're not building the right skills at the right time, because there's a season for everything, but you got to know when. It's so, so important to make sure you are growing on purpose and not waiting for someone to give you the green light and not waiting for someone to give you permission to grow. That's one thing I had to also learn so much for myself. When I started in HR, I was still in college. And so I was so used to teachers and professors being um, considerate. They cared about like what I was doing and how I was going to get to the next thing. In the working world, I had to learn quickly. They don't care about that. You are in a role, you are gonna do your job, they're gonna pay you for that job, and you are gonna go home. It doesn't benefit them all the time if you learn something new or you don't learn anything new. All they want you to do is the job you've been paid to do. So if you got a desire to learn something else, you can't always rely on them to pay for it. You can't always rely on them to even care that you're doing it because you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. You're doing it for the life that you're trying to build. You're doing it for the life that you're trying to help other people to build as well. So again, your desire to grow yourself should be intrinsic. It cannot be something that's motivated by anyone else around you or anything else around you. You've got to have that deep desire in you to grow on purpose because when you get shot down, when you get that denial that they're not going to pay for this or not going to pay for that, if you're going to want to do it, you're going to want to do it. So again, if you have a desire to grow, you are on track and you are likely a great HR leader, great HR professionals, because those are the people that I work with. Those are the people who have a desire to know that they're doing a great job, a desire to grow on purpose. You don't need someone to tap you on the shoulders to be a leader. You grow into leadership. If you're hearing these traits and you're thinking, okay, I'm on the right track, good. Because I believe that great leaders are not born, they're developed. And the fact that you're here, you're learning about how to lead, it already puts you well ahead of people who are just getting started. Keep going, keep learning, and keep showing up because you're building the foundation now that will help you to be an incredible HR leader later. If you want to go deeper into this and put your own career plans together, I created a tool to help you do just that. It's called the 10 Steps to Lead with Impact as an HR Leader. Click the link in the description, scan the QR code, or comment down below with the words, "Give me the guide," and I'll send a copy just for you. Once you understand the traits of a great leader, the next step is creating HR standards that actually shift behaviors across your company. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to set HR standards that leaders actually follow without pushing, without chasing, without begging for compliance. I'll see you there.